It's streaming to YouTube.
We're on. Looks like
We're
we're
on?
ready to go. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna let
All
it
right.
finish loading before I click out. Give it a few more seconds. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
And TV got to do the 5, 4. All right. Ready to go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Mayfield Board of Education's March 17th St. Patrick's Day edition. Could I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Finaro,
Here.
Ms. Grosek,
Here.
Mr. Hess,
Here.
Mr. Hughes,
Here.
Mr. Teresi.
Here.
Thank you. Moving on, tonight we have two very special guests. Nicholas Pinzone, who we had to move from last month's meeting. Thank you, Nicholas, for coming up to our meeting this time. He is our student of the month. Nicholas is a preschool student, and Dr. Kelly will read a little bit about Nicholas.
We do. We have several special guests here today. We're going to get to them all here in just a few moments, but we are going to start with Nicholas. Where are you, Nicholas? Wave to me.
Wave.
There you are. Wave to all your fans out there on YouTube. You are the first preschooler on our Zoom board meeting, by the way, Nicholas. So you are a trendsetter right now. Nicholas, we have lots of nice things to say about you. The Mayfield City School District and the Mayfield Board of Education present your proclamation to Nicholas Pinzone, Student of the Month from Mayfield Preschool. And as Mr. Finaro said, you were named Student of the Month last in February. Whereas Nicholas is a preschool student, and whereas Nicholas is a sweet and kind young man who is a friend to everyone in the classroom, he is always ready to lend a hand to help his teacher and classmates. And whereas Nicholas enjoys learning and shares his excitement when he learns something new, like the letter of the week, songs, and lessons. His transitions from one activity to the next with a positive attitude and follows the rules and procedures of the classroom. And whereas Nicholas treats every student, teacher, and preschool staff member with respect and kindness and happily shares a smile that lights up the room. Now, therefore, be it resolved on behalf of all the members of the Mayfield school community, Nicholas Pinzone is named the Mayfield Board of Education Student of the Month for Mayfield Preschool. Congratulations, Nicholas.
Thank you.
Yeah, Nicholas.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. We're very proud of you.
Congratulations, Nicholas.
And thanks for coming on. Thanks for having the courage to come on, Nicholas.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
You did a great job, Nicholas. Thank you.
awesome.
So proud of you, Nicholas.
All right, now we're going to move on to Marie O'Brien. Marie's a very, very special young lady. Marie, the Mayfield City School District and Mayfield Board of Education we presented your proclamation to you, Student of the Month, from the CVEC program and Beechwood City Schools. So you're with us as a Wildcat part of the day, and you're also, I think you're the Bisons over there at Beechwood, is that right?
Yep, the Bisons.
Whereas Marie continuously exudes joy and a positive outlook for life. And whereas Marie meets every challenge with a willingness to try new tasks at work. And whereas Marie is always cheerful and focused on her job. And where she utilizes all the knowledge from her CVEC teachers and her power standards on a daily basis. And whereas Marie is happy and well adjusted to her new career as an assistant baker at the Nothing Bundt Cakes. And I can tell you, she does a great job because they were very tasty today. Thank you. And whereas Marie is an expert at flipping cakes, scooping batter, swirling flavors, measuring ingredients, and helping with the cleaning. And whereas Marie always comes to work with a positive attitude and elevates the spirit of our entire team. And whereas there aren't enough words to express how proud we are of Marie for all of her accomplishments. What a wonderful young lady we are. You, Marie. So now therefore be resolved on behalf of all the members of the Mayfield School community, and I'll even throw in the Beechwood community into that one. Marie O'Brien is named the Mayfield Board of Education Student of the Month for CVEC on this day, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, 2021. Congratulations.
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 That is really awesome.
Marie,
Congratulations.
congratulations, Marie. We are so proud of you. And if I may, Marie sent a really nice thank you note, and she wrote to the CVAC staff, "Thank you for finding my dream come true job. You have helped me be the best me and taught me many things. Thank you." And that just summarized the person that you are. So we're very proud of you, Marie, and her
One more
family.
round of applause.
Yeah, good job, Marie.
Yeah, Marie.
Excellent.
It sounds like you make some of my favorite foods.
We didn't save you
Congratulations.
one. They're
Yeah.
all gone, Ron. They're all
I
gone.
figured if they're that good, they would be gone. I'll have to try to find my way out. And what was it called? Nothing Bunt Cake? What is it?
Exactly.
Okay,
Okay.
very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We have a couple of other outstanding young women here who have accomplished some really special things with their writings. And I want to present each of them here. First, the Mayfield City School District and the Mayfield Board of Education. We want to recognize Gianna Somrak. She is a senior for being named as a multi-award winning recipient of the Scholastics Art and Writing Contest, one of the longest running creative writing contests for teens in the United States. Now, she's got a long list of honors here, so bear with me. She's a very talented young woman. Under the guidance and direction of Kari Berry, her teacher, Gianna won 3 distinct awards. First, she won a Silver Key for her writing portfolio that included The Scale of Humanity, which featured 6 pieces of writing, including Fell, which is a flash fiction, Sunsets and Strawberries, a short story, Inside the Lines, a poem, Little Fires Everywhere, a poem, Lost, a poem, and Eldest, a poem. Secondly, she won an individual Silver Key for her flash fiction Fell and an individual honorable mention for her short story Sunsets and Strawberries. After reviewing over 3,000 submissions this year, the Cleveland Institute of Art, host of the regional contest in Cleveland, announced the writing winners on January 5th. The virtual award ceremonies were held on January 30th of 2021. We congratulate Gianna on her dedication and commitment to the written word and sharing her voice with the world. Wow. How impressive is that? Round of applause.
Congratulations, John.
Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. And also a round of applause for you, Mrs. Berry, for all of your work with your students. Now, we've got another outstanding student here.
Dr.
Ms.
Kelly, can
Sarah
I interject
Carlisle.
for 1 second and just say something on behalf of Gianna? I know that you're quick with your timelines, but Gianna's a senior this year, and I just want to say both something on behalf of Gianna and Sarah when it comes her turn, that if you haven't read their pieces, they're posted online and they're also featured in the Scholastics website that has been featured. I've been very grateful that the board office has shared that with the public. And I want to thank you for some of your responses to that. Gianna is such a dedicated person. She is such she crafts so many wonderful ideas. She is a voice for the future, and she's dedicated to make sure that her stories and all people's stories are shared so they can be valued and we can change things in this world. And I just want to say, Gianna, we don't have that many more weeks left, that it's been such an honor to be your teacher and watch your journey. And I'm so, so proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mrs. Berry.
That was wonderful. Okay, now Sarah Carlisle, where are you, Sarah? Wave to everybody. And there you are. Okay. Sarah's a junior, grade 11. The Mayfield City School District and Mayfield Board of Education want to recognize Sarah for the awards and recognition she earned from the Scholastic Art and Writing Contest. As we know, the nation's longest running recognition program for creative teens. Under the guidance and direction of Kari Berry, right? Sarah earned a gold key, the highest honor, for her poem Pinocchio, and a silver key for her poem The Broken Heart Vaccine. What a cool title, especially now. Love it. The Cleveland Institute of Art hosts the Scholastic Art and Writing Competition every year. The winners were announced on January 5th from nearly 3,000 entries from students in grades 7 through 12, if you didn't know that. Sarah was also honored at the Cleveland Institute of Art on January 30th. We congratulate Sarah and her dedication and commitment to the written word, her creativity, and she too sharing her voice with the world. So Sarah, thank you very much. Gianna, both of you are spectacular young women. You can do great things in life.
Yeah.
We're so proud of you. Thank you.
And I would be remiss if I, of course, didn't say something
Go
about Sarah. If I could interject one more time, I promise I won't
No,
do it
you're good.
anymore.
Take your time.
You know I can be a talker, everyone that knows me, right? So, Sarah, I just want to congratulate you. You shared a very personal stories. You always do. You give part of yourself to every piece of writing that you produce. And as a result of that, people heal, people rejoice, and people are connected to you and your journey. And that takes a lot of courage. And I just want to celebrate that with you and congratulate you personally again. So thank you so much for taking the risks to just turn into that core that you already have, which is this incredible talent to tell stories and tell, it through a compressed way of poetry as well. And we're all better for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That means a lot to me.
Okay, now
I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Now we want to honor really a special teacher. The Mayfield City School District and the Mayfield Board of Education recognize Mrs. Jennifer Hancock. Jen, wave to the crowd, everybody out there on YouTube. Okay. Jen is a Mayfield technology coach who recently earned her Google Coach certification after completing a 6-month Google for Education program. Jen is the only, this is what makes this really unique. Jen is the only Google coach within 100 miles of Cleveland. And we kind of took the old compass and protractor out and measured it. No, we didn't, not really. She now offers Mayfield students and teachers her expertise as a Google coach, Google trainer, and Google educator level 1 and 2. The certified coach program empowers instructional coaches to drive impactful technology use in their schools. Coaches work one-to-one with teachers to identify and adopt technology-based solutions that solve classroom challenges. And certainly Jen has played a huge role in the advancement of how we use technology on a daily basis to engage our students in their learning. And it's just amazing what she and her colleagues have been able to accomplish. So thank you, Jen. We
Thank
appreciate
you. Thank you. I love my job.
I just have to say very quickly, Jen, thank you very much for guiding me through Flipgrid. Great job. She's a great coach. If I can get through Flipgrid, you can get anybody through it. I'm just saying.
Anytime.
I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay, congratulations, everybody. And if you do get the chance or if you have, please take a look at Gianna and Sarah's works. They are unbelievable. I truly enjoyed Gianna's, I think it was 6 maybe writings on the scale of humanity. And then the Pinocchio piece that Sarah did. Unbelievable. You guys, you have bright futures. Keep up the writing. Please share everything that you share with your writing and your words, because it's something I wish I was able to do. And you guys do it very well. And Jennifer, congratulations on being 100 miles. I think we should look that up. I think it goes into Canada.
Yeah,
So not just Ohio. I think we go up into Canada too if we use the lake.
yeah, then we could count that.
So we'll count that. So congratulations, everybody. All right, well, moving on. If anybody's following at home, we skipped over the presentations to get through the honors because that's really good stuff to honor our students and what they're doing here. And now it's time for our presentations to get to see what's happening in our schools. And we have a presentation tonight. I think we're going to start with the preschool. So we will have Ms. Harrison, and I think you have a whole bunch of people with you tonight. So I won't go through the whole list. You can introduce them, however you're going to do it, but it's all yours.
All right, wonderful. I'm going to share my screen. So hopefully you can see our presentation. If not, just let me know. But Dr. Kelly, Mr. Fernaro, and the rest of the board, thank you so much for letting Mayfield Preschool come on tonight and just really highlight some of the wonderful things that we have going on. I have 3 extraordinary women here with me tonight. I have Lindsay Jones, Gina DeRusso, and Tara Palmisano, who are going to help me highlight all of the wonderful things that we have going on. So we're going to share tonight the 5 reasons that we are 5 stars at Mayfield Preschool. And kind of how we came up with that is we have a rating system through Step Up to. So what that is Ohio will come in and look at our preschool and all of the different facets of it and rate us on a star scale of 1 to 5. And we have earned 5 stars consistently over the past 5 years because we are really exemplary in the following 4 domains: learning and development, administrative leadership and practices, staff qualifications, professional development, and family and community partnerships. So really what we want to do today is take these 4 areas and really highlight how we shine as a preschool in the state of Ohio. So I would be remiss if I didn't start with our amazing staff. Each classroom has at least 1 teacher and 1 paraprofessional working with students on a day-to-day basis. And you can see that I had to pick some pictures from years past so we can really show the closeness that we have between our teachers and our students. And while this year has been a little bit different and we're not able to be in such close proximity, we're still really dedicated to our students. We have speech therapists, occupational therapists, and physical therapists who work in the classroom along with the teachers and paraprofessionals. And they all really have a student first mentality. They've dedicated their lives, their education, their time away from their families to really getting to know the students, meeting their needs of both our special ed learners and our peers. So over the past year, we have had to flip a classroom, which, you know, these students are coming in at age 3 and some of them are really used to being on the classroom for fun things. You know, a lot of times they're on YouTube or Starfall or other games, but we asked them to learn that way, which was no small task for the teachers. But they have really flipped their classrooms in a way that to me is amazing. When we were virtual, we did whole group Zooms daily. We sent home supply boxes so the students had everything they needed to be successful. Sometimes the teachers even drove those over to their homes. Now we put them in their mailboxes, didn't hand deliver them. But again, our staff made sure that our students had everything that they needed to be successful. Even when we were virtual, we pulled the students in for that one-on-one session for their special ed goals, and we watched them soar. We watched them grow and we watched them make gains like they've never done before, given those different interventions we were able to do. Now we still do some virtual learning. We actually have our very first male preschool teacher who is our virtual teacher, and he's doing amazing things. He's flipping the classroom and he's teaching virtually every day. And it's really nice because some of the students who have come back from being virtual learners see him in the hallways and he's like this celebrity that's walking around like, oh, Mr. S, you're not only on the computer, you're a real person. So it's really kind of nice to see him see these students in person and learn and grow. But our staff was nothing short of amazing when we were able to teach students from home. And then when we brought them back in, they were able to feel safe and continue to learn and go along the way. So our staff makes Mayfield Preschool second to none.
Hi, so I'm going to talk about curriculum. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So we follow the creative curriculum, and it focuses on play-based and hands-on learning. And we center around interest areas like dramatic play, music, blocks, and we use these interest areas to teach the concepts that are tied to our early learning standards. And we also use monthly themes to achieve this. So student data and performance drive our learning activities. And then we also supplement activities based on our diverse learners. You can go to the next slide.
Okay.
So when, like Mrs. Harrison said, when we had to pivot in the spring to remote learning, it was kind of challenging. We had to rethink how we could create that learning environment and those hands-on activities, but just at home, and really engage with our students. So we used a variety of strategies. We used puppets, we used songs, we used videos, games, we used the Seesaw app, we used one-on-one Zoom therapy. And so, some of these are the examples.
And I want to give another shout out to Jen because she really, I called her in a panic last March. My teachers and I don't know what to do. We don't have Seesaw, we don't have Zoom, I have no idea what's happening. And then as we were in remote learning, I called her again and said, Jen, we need Lexia. And she every time came to the rescue and was able to help us. These are videos. This is our occupational therapist, and she did weekly videos for our letter of the week. And these are just some other pictures of some of the virtual work that our students did and turned in while they were learning through Seesaw. Mrs. Hancock.
Our preschool is definitely committed to reflective practices. Settings with the best outcomes for children have staff who engage in reflective practice. We have annual self-assessments that are in conjunction with Mayfield's MTES program. We self-assess our classrooms, through professional development, program practice, and definitely, in a time of COVID-19, it was more important than ever to have some critical reflection, especially during these times. It helped our staff evaluate situations, assess risks, solve problems, and make those important decisions daily in our practices. And we do it well at our preschool. We use data to inform instruction. We set our goals, how to improve the teaching and learning practices in the classroom. And it's, we definitely invented it for the relevancy through COVID. Just again, what Mrs. Harrison was saying, and Colleen, how to make online learning applicable to the youngest of learners. And I think we rocked it as a staff, totally rocked it, and still are. But shout out to all of our preschool.
I agree. They really, and we're trying to teach our students through self-reflection also. So as they come in on a daily basis, they will reflect on how am I feeling today? How am I, going about my day? And they have, through modeling, our teachers have taught our students to reflect in on themselves and then grow from there. So not only are they doing that, as a program, they're really being models for the youngest of learners and teaching our students to be always assessing and kind of moving forward. And Mrs. DeRusso is new to us this year. So she's going to talk about our family and community partnerships as she is our itinerant teacher. So she is really great at knowing the Mayfield preschool, but also the preschools within Mayfield.
We are big on getting involved with the family and community partnerships. For example, like Wildcat Sport and Fitness. The preschoolers will usually use the gym located at the high school for growth motor and bimotor activities. Since COVID, we were not able to use it. So hopefully when things open up, we'll be able to use the Wildcat Sport and Fitness. Also, we work with, we partner with students who want to be a teacher in the near future. Students from Excel Tech Partnership, we work with them along with the media program. who makes videos about our preschool program. Also, we are part of the, we work with the Rotary Club grant where they, it's a grant to help preschool program. Right now, we're working on planning to install sensory walk-in in our school. We also work with parent mental collaboration where we bridge the home and the school and work with parents where the school and the, where they bridge the parents and the school and they work together as a partner. We all along with, we work with Bridget Brewster, who helped us bridging them together. Also, we are part of the community preschool collaboration. As a tenor teacher, I work with other preschools such as KinderCare and State Pastoral Preschool. We work with students who need direct services for speech, OT, and social emotional. Since COVID, we're not able to visit other schools to work with students directly. So the itinerant teacher will work with them in person in our preschool or through Zoom. It's been a wonderful way to collaborate with teachers in school and outside of Mayfield School. Also, we consult with parents, teachers, and we also give parents teacher strategies and tools to help students achieve their social emotional skills, academic skills, speech skills, occupational therapy. See a lot of parents get involved with their own kids in the school and their own community. It's kind of really nice to see we all work as a team in the preschool, Mayfield preschool, and outside the preschool setting.
So as we, again, went through the COVID year, as we're calling it, parents really went from being their first teachers to really letting us have them at the beginning of last year. And they sent their babies to us and we taught them. And then we said, oh, COVID's here. You're going to actually, again, teach them in the home setting. So our teachers became teachers of parents, and then the parents really collaborated with us so nicely. It's almost impossible to have a Zoom meeting with a 3-year-old without their parent right next to them. So our partnerships have never been stronger. So some things that we hope to carry with us through after COVID and when they're all back are really those close-knit relationships that we had with the parents, because that helps us understand our students in a way that we weren't able to before. The parents would pop on before a session and say, it's been a really hard weekend. Please forgive Johnny because he just can't focus today. Where, during the drop off, we can get a little bit of information, but I feel like the parents really forged a different relationship with us. So it helped us understand where the families were coming from, and it helped us give them support in different ways. So that has actually been a really, really nice thing. The part of Step Up to Quality that I feel that really sets us apart from every other preschool in Ohio is support from our district. We've asked a lot of you over the past couple of years, you've given us a beautiful new space to learn in. You've supported us through virtual learning. You give us the ability to really build that foundation for a Mayfield education. So we could do nothing without everybody else who is on this Zoom meeting with us. Dr. Kelly, everybody at the board office, the Board of Education. Honestly, it's because of you that we are able to do so many of these things, and we could do none of it without you. So thank you so much for everything you do to make Mayfield Preschool great. Our commitment to excellence allows us to prepare all of our Mayfield Cubs for a second to none Mayfield education, and we are reflecting daily and growing every year. If this year has taught us anything, is that if we work together, there is nothing we can't achieve. So we are more committed than ever to really getting to know our Cubs, their families, and providing them with an exemplary education. So those are the reasons that Mayfield Preschool is a 5-star preschool. Thank you.
Excellent.
Very nice.
Good job, Colleen.
Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we'd like to thank all of you. I know it cannot be, whatever that was. I know it cannot be, it could not have been very easy at the beginning of the school year to figure this all out and know all the answers. And your whole staff, parents and all, have worked through this very well, made the best of it with these young minds that we have. 3-year-olds, that's something to deal with outside of COVID, and then you throw that on top of it. I'm sure it was something else, but we appreciate everything that you all have done. A couple of parents that I've talked to from the preschool truly are thankful how you guys have stepped up and been able to educate their young children. So we really appreciate everything you guys have done.
Thank you.
Yeah, Tara, Tara, I think Tara summed it up. You guys have rocked it. You're incredible in a normal year, and you've been more incredible during this year. And just seeing the kids and what they do and the smiles on their faces and how all of you interact with them and the kinds of activities you engage them in, just what you explained to us today really does prepare them for the rest of their educational lives. It really does. So thank you for providing that awesome foundation for them and loving them so much, because I know you do. I know you do.
Thank you. And thank you to our leadership, to Colleen Harrison.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And we have one more presentation. Tonight we have CVEC is our March Building for All Access Learning. Tonight, Ms. Serino, and I believe we have Marcy. Oh, the names are moving. Becky and Marcy maybe with you tonight. So it's all yours.
I'm going to be sharing our presentation.
And we also have Sarah Kiso with us as well. So thank you, Board of Education, Dr. Kelly, Scott Snyder, and everyone at home who is watching, and everybody who's logged on here this evening. So preschool is where it all begins, and CVEC is where we close. So it's kind of fitting that we're both together today. I will tell you, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the CVEC staff, the certified and the classified, because each one had a part in what we're about to share this evening. We really had to rethink CVEC, because our jobs are, and our community is our access. And when the pandemic hit, we lost our access. So it was, what are we going to do next? So we needed to think about, Sarah, presentation.
I'm sorry, Dr. Kelly, are you able to give me sharing rights so I can share our slides?
And if anybody's not presenting, please put yourself on mute, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hold on, Sarah, I'm going to make you a co-host. I made Denise a co-host because I thought she was the one.
Okay, thank you.
Hold on one second here. Okay, you should
Sorry
be
for the
set.
pause, everybody. I still don't see the presentation, Sarah.
Here we go. Thank you, everybody.
There it is. We got it.
Thank you.
So if you can, so at the start of the pandemic, I was very grateful that we were able to run a summer program, because it allowed us to really look at job seekers in the building and what we needed to do physically in the building to start the school year. But we asked the question, how is remote learning going to work for our CVEC job seekers when, again, our community is where we learn? How will we continue to job train and employ when our community partners are shut down? We lost a lot of sites due to the pandemic. And how are we going to adapt, reshuffle, and support our CVEC job seekers? So those are the questions we asked and we pondered, and had to move on to the next step. What we did was we really had to hone in on what is our mission. So with the help of ILT, our instructional leadership team, we updated our mission statement to read, we're really a collaborative transition service provider. We not only work with families, but we work with districts, outside agencies where we educate, empower, and employ our job seekers. As I mentioned, our community is our all access for learning. Our goal is for our job seekers to apply for employment standards to real world situations. So in this picture, you see some of our job seekers virtually learning, zooming in, which is what we had to adapt to, as well as hands-on experiences in different sites. Currently, right now, just giving you a little bit of background, with our enrollment, we have job seekers coming in person. There's 52% of them coming in person, and we have 48% remote learning. So it's about half. We also have 16 who have gathered the seal of Ohio Means Job Readiness Seal. We have 16 job seekers who have done the Serve Safe certification and have earned that certification. And even with this pandemic, we have 43 job seekers that have sought employment and have retained employment, and you witnessed one today in Marie. So that is a huge accomplishment for us and our individuals considering this school year. So we looked at how do we evolve to this virtual CVAC during this pandemic. So we really had to transform job training, community sites into virtual instruction. So I'm going to turn it over to Sarah to talk about the pacing guide, the transition electives that we created, as well as we had to rethink the job fair and create a virtual job fair. Sarah?
So for CVAC, as many of you know, we've always used our rubric. We have 16 power standards or employment standards. So what we did this school year, a group of us got together, staff, and we created a pacing guide for instruction. This was actually sort of fueled by our remote learning. And so we took our CVAC employment standards or power standards, and we paired that with the Ohio job training standards to ensure that every student at CVAC was or is gaining the same information during that virtual instruction. And it also allowed for our job seekers to be flexible when coming back to in-person training. And so we knew at that time that every job seeker was learning the same employment standards at the same time. So this was very helpful when we were talking about instruction. As a group, our certified staff and our classified staff, we also got together to really talk about the needs of our job seekers. We looked at the transition section of our IEPs, and we developed something new. This was all virtually done. These are our electives, our transition electives based on the needs of our students. So these are electives that are still being offered now quarterly, and these are virtually, and then some of our in-person students are still able to log on when they're in at CVAC. One that Denise had mentioned earlier, our teachers are teaching an intro to Ohio Means Jobs, and some students are trying to gain their Ohio Means Jobs readiness seal. We also have a class really kind of talking and focusing about our career clusters. It's for students typically that are unsure about their interest. We have a teacher that is able to teach Serve Safe. This is a great certification that our students are able to have on their resume if they gain the certification. If they are not able to gain the certification, we also are able to put that on the resume, and adult agencies actually are looking for that, and businesses are as well when hiring. We have a Best Self class that is really working with students on managing self-care, learning about independent living skills, and we're also really focusing on technology. We have a financial literacy class that is taught by 2 different teachers, really focusing on what to do with our money once we've earned it. There's a cooking class that's offered in the evenings where students are able to work with staff, but they're in their own kitchens, and we are developing recipes and then able to really work on social skills with conversations. We have a working out class and leisure access, working with students on how to access leisure activities in their own local communities. Our social worker and one of our paraprofessionals work on mindfulness-based training. It's really working with students on learning about their emotional regulation, self-care. They're working on meditation and really how to deal with stress, both during the pandemic and even during employment. We have a social skills class that's offered. It's going to be offered in the evening as well, really working with students on getting together, gathering, finding other individuals, people that have the same interests. And also really learning on how to develop and maintain positive relationships. Our social worker also works with students on obtaining their temps. We have a job club. One of our teachers really works with students once they are employed. What are some different issues that may be coming up while you're employed, and talking with other students about that. We have a girls group. And we also have a guys club that was actually talked about at our advisory board. And this is something new to CVEC this quarter.
These classes are all new and virtual due to the pandemic. And one of the things that we've talked about is how do we continue that next year during the midday block, or when do we do it? They have been very well received. And the instructional pieces, again, the teachers and the staff created this. I just kind of guided them. So it's their work.
And the last area here is back when we were in person, we went to a lot of different job fairs, and we're part of CVEC is job training, and then the other piece is job development and job placement. So our teachers got together and our paraprofessionals, and they developed a job fair virtual. You're able to use this in your classes. And you're also able then to work with students on attending virtual job fairs. What we're finding is many of our students are doing Zoom interviews like we're doing now. And so really teaching them on, how do we do a virtual job fair? What does that application look like online? What they've done is they've taken a link. Let's just say you're interested in being a recreation attendant. And we've linked that to one of our career stops. Students are able to see what this job entails and to see if they're interested. And then our staff would work with them on finding a job similar to that in their local community. We also have up here that we work with students on how to fill out application. And then of course, writing that thank you note at the end of an interview. Students during these job fairs are working with our certified and our classified staff, really practicing on those interviewing skills, resume skills, and really working too to see, diversify the experience of both in-person interviewing and then actually the online interviewing. So here with this are the CVEC electives that we just discussed. For these electives for our third quarter, we had 128 job seekers that participated in these electives, and we had 17 courses offered. And these are just some pictures of our students who participated in the different electives.
So as a service provider, we assist districts in all the elements of the transition process. As a service provider, we work jointly to make sure, are we meeting your needs? Are we meeting your family needs? Are we meeting the district needs? We're here to support their goals and their family goals. We try to begin with the end in mind. So where do we see that job seeker at the end of the career, and work backwards on what do we need to do to prep for that end goal? All students come to CVEC with different goals. Families have different goals for them, so we need to tailor what we do to meet their needs. So we've implemented certain things for the districts and for the families so that when students exit, or as we're beginning our education and our training and our on-site work, that whatever we sent out is uniform and there's a process to what we do. So Sarah, can you go through the JTC checklist, the team chart, and the IEP checklist?
So the first thing that we created as a staff is the JTC checklist. This checklist, we took all the components of students when they first walk through the door at CVAC, and then when they're leaving, hopefully employed. And we really wanted to make sure, because we have so many people, so many individuals that are working with individual students, and they're not just in our space, they're actually in the community, that we wanted to ensure that each student was given different transition needs, that they were addressed. And so this is a sheet that will follow each student, whether they're with me as a teacher or they're with another teacher, anywhere that they are in the community. This sheet will follow them. And this also is shared with the districts to ensure that all the student needs are being met.
So no matter what teacher serves that student, we're all working towards the same goal.
The next is called the team chart. We would like to call this as our exit ticket. And we've been using this, and this has sort of been modified now with our with COVID and with a lot of the Zoom meetings. Students or our job seekers are an active participant in this. This is a place where parents, districts, and our job seekers can go. And all of their information is in here for everyone on their team. So, and it's also color coded based on one of the based on our family being our closest to us. And these are our mentors in yellow. And then we have red, which is notifying individuals who, yes, we know, but we might not want to share all information with. And this actually provides families a place. There's a lot of members to a team, when we're talking about exiting time. So if a parent had a question, maybe for the County Board of Developmental Disabilities, the individual's name would be there, and then also the link to get to where they need to go. And then we've worked with our job seekers on ensuring that they understand, how can that person support me? How does this person support me? And how is this member a contributing member to my team? At the bottom here, for parents and for our job seekers, once they leave, we will link in then their resume, any of the elective courses that have been offered to CVAC, and then references that they might need. So then they don't have to recreate the wheel, or any of our provided different agencies can come in and they can also look at this with student permission to have access to their resume and references. And so they're able to make those changes, as things come, because our first job isn't always going to be our last job.
School is a safety net for everyone: preschool, elementary, middle school, high school, and CVAC. So we wanted to ensure that when we have graduates, that parents know where to reference in order to access services for their individuals. IEP checklist.
The next component that we created as a staff was really working at the, looking at the IEPs. We work with many districts. And so we wanted to really uniform how our information was being sent. And so here, each teacher, each job training coordinator, this is how a sending district will now receive information for us for their individual student needs.
At our last PD day, we focused a lot about compliance with the IEP and what the districts need. And when we presented this to advisory, it was very helpful to them, because they now have the information in one format and then can plug it into their IEP. So we're compliant, and the district is compliant as well. So our business partners changed a little bit at the start of COVID. So on the left are all the businesses that really said, even with COVID and the pandemic, we still want you on board. We still need our volunteers. So we are also very grateful for that continued collaboration and opportunity. Some of the ones that are not there, we still do not know what the role will be for the start of next school year. So the hospitals, the nursing homes, things like that. So we really looked at new business partners that, what are some of the skill sets of some of the other job sites that we had that may not happen, but can be replicated somewhere else. So that was our first charge. The second charge was really looking at regions. Some of our districts want to directly transport to a site closer to home, rather than transport them to CVAC and then us bus them to a job training site. So new business partners in the spring, starting this spring as well as next fall, we have a site called MFS Supply, which is in Solon. It has some of the same principles as Jurgens and manufacturing, because manufacturing is a big need for some of our job seekers. Giant Eagle and Bainbridge, so we target that area. The JCC in Beechwood does want us back in the fall with some different compliance pieces. And then I'm happy to announce that Mr. Bishko and I, we now have a collaboration with Excel Tech. We're going to start with the horticulture program. We did some experimenting with a student there, and we are a go starting next year. And I'm really excited about that because it gives two programs that are pretty solid in Mayfield an opportunity to work together. And that was my goal for some time. So thank you to Excel Tech, and thank you for the staff who kind of said, what are we doing? So here we are. So I'm very excited about that. So we will continue with a summer program, and that is the date of our summer program. It is a parent transport. This year, we're going to have it at CVAC as well as some community sites. Some of our sites want us for the summer to continue that collaboration. And I don't want to say no, because they want to keep their businesses running, and our students have afforded that opportunity to keep that going. So we're going to hopefully cap it at 25 kids to kind of try to manage it, but give students an opportunity for that work exposure, especially opening it up to some of those students who may be new enrollees for the fall, to give them that initial, this is what CVAC is about. So we have Marcy with us, and she is from the Shaker Heights City Schools, who has some words about CVAC and her experience. Marcy, are you still with us?
Hold on.
Is Marcy still here?
She's on mute.
Oh, she's on mute. Marcy, can you unmute? She's still here.
Yeah, she's still on.
Okay.
I think she shut her video off, but she's still on mute.
Okay.
While we're waiting, and when she pops in, I'll stop talking. But I have a question for you. So I saw 6 business partners this school year. What is that down from? I know we had a whole bunch. I mean,
I think we had about, well, let me work backwards. We had,
I need to.
hi, Marcy,
go
sorry.
ahead, Marcy.
Okay.
Can you hear me or see me?
We can see you and hear you. You're good.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry. I'm new at this.
That's okay.
Well, thank you for having me. And my daughter Zoe is a student at CVAC. And actually, I want to say congratulations to Gianna, Sarah, and Marie for all their accomplishments there. So I'm going to be honest, we were really apprehensive and unsure what the school program would be. And we had 3 goals for our daughter Zoe, which is confidence, gainful employment, and independence. And CVAC has accomplished all that for her. And we were very overly impressed with the entire program. And the staff is so terrific. And they've not only helped Zoe, but they've helped us as a family to help navigate her.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we just want to say thank you for the entire program.
Thank you, Marcy. And also with us today is Becky Molinas, who's the Director of Pupil Services for Kirtland Local Schools. Becky, are you still with us?
Okay, I'm here. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
All right. Thank you very much for inviting me. I have to tell you, this is my 8th year with Kirtland, and this is my 7th year with having students at CVAC, and I cannot begin to tell you the accomplishments that my students have made, and just my sheer joy in finding services that really support our students. And of course, Denise, I always have to make a PowerPoint so I can make sure that I hit on every piece. So can I just really quickly share? Is that okay?
Dr. Kelly,
Is that?
I'm going to make you co-host, Becky. You should in 1 second. Okay. All right, you should be a co-host now, Becky.
Right.
Okay.
So let's see. Let me know if you can see the PowerPoint.
We
Coming
got it.
up, there it is.
So as I mentioned, it is my 7th year with working with CVAC. And I have to tell you, as Marcy had mentioned that, you know, she was a little apprehensive, and that's how our very first student that attended CVAC, how the parents felt. And they really felt that their student would always be at Kirtland, even through the age of 22. And back in 2014, it was a lot of work to try to get the parent to really open up. I mean, never had Kirtland crossed the county lines and gone into another county for services for our children. And I've always preached that we don't make a child fit a program. We make sure that the program fits our child. And CVAC has done that now for 7 years. And I can't speak highly enough of the staff and administrators and just Mayfield School District for letting us have the opportunity to open
I
up.
had a whole page of
doors.
notes, but then my computer died, so I had to do it on my phone and I couldn't.
As you can see, over the years, the number of students that have attended CVAC continues to grow. And just today during a staff meeting, my intervention specialist at the high school already brought 3 more students' names forward that we really like to start talking to the parents about. So we continue to grow in the number of students that attend CVAC. And of course, it's just absolutely amazing, the opportunities that you do provide and the doors that you're opening for our students. Just the training opportunities, really focusing on our students' developmental needs, learning needs, their intellectual abilities. And I hope all of you know, and I'm sure you do, what is offered at CVAC far exceeds any other program in our area. We have what we call our tweeners, and our tweeners are those students that, you know, Auburn is not appropriate for them. And, you know, a lot of times we're looking for a program that fits more of our students' needs, and CVAC has done that for all of our children. The staff is absolutely amazing. I can't thank Denise, Sarah, Mike, Bridget, Chris from Alpha Academy. I cannot begin to tell you how supportive they are, their dedication, the continuous strive to add quality programming, and their mission to continue to provide the very best for our students. And that has been a huge piece and adding to the success of our students. Of course, the caring, well-trained CVAC staff members. I have to say, back when we started, you did take one of my educational assistants, but she still got to work with my student that was at CVAC, and it was just such a positive environment. I am one of those directors that need to know and be involved in all my students' education. So before COVID, the staff at CVAC was used to me showing up once or twice a month, just so I could, you know, see how my students are doing, check in and see if the staff needs anything or any information, support from the parents or anything. And every time I stopped in, from Don working with my first student back 7 years through today, it's been absolutely amazing. So I thank Mayfield School District for providing this opportunity and having just absolutely wonderful teachers and administrators. Throughout everything that Sarah and Denise have just talked about, through all the power standards and our students' pins, all their needs are met. And we have some really big celebrations. Everything that the variety of opportunities that CVAC offers our students really meets that unique set of needs, unique set of skills, and our students' interests. No matter where the student's at, our CVAC staff and the programming always comes to meet where our students are at and help grow them so they can be successful after high school. With that, I do want to just give a little bit of a celebration. My very first student at CVAC, his parents were, as I mentioned, extremely apprehensive. They thought, and everybody at Kirtland thought, okay, this child's going to stay at Kirtland until he's 22 and in a classroom by himself. And my heart broke because I'm like, this is not what's best for this child. And the staff at CVAC really helped us guide that parent within the first year, he was student of the month. The mom would come to me in tears, like she never thought her child could accomplish and be involved like he was. And that was made possible because of CVEC. So I want you to know you've touched many, many lives, mine too, because it's so rewarding to work with such great people and see the great things my kids are doing. Another student was just hired through Goodwill in Mayfield just 2 weeks ago. And we have another student we actually have two students that were not passing any of their classes, really laxed on what they were doing. And one of our students who has attended Alpha Academy last year and this year, and the other half of the day CVEC, he's already been offered a job in manufacturing. CVEC, of course, helped him complete his job application and get everything set up. He had an interview about a month ago, and that was his dream. His parents are both in the manufacturing industry, and he really wanted to follow their footsteps. And there would never have been an opportunity for him to gain these skills and the knowledge that he needed unless CVEC offered that for him. So I hope I can tell you, or I'm expressing enough the gratitude that we have for the quality care instruction that CVEC has provided us. And we're very thankful to the Mayfield School District for continuing to provide a program and offering it to districts so that our children can be successful. So I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Becky,
Thank you.
very much.
That was amazing to listen to.
So where is CVEC heading? So this is our next step. We started the process of outreach services, which Sarah is going to talk about, and also with a collaborative effort of, again, certified and classified staff as a group, we started the process of PREETS, which is pre-employment transition services, to become a provider in not just Cuyahoga County, but other counties as well. Okay, Sarah?
So right as the beginning part of COVID was hitting, we really started talking about outreach services. So we have districts where we're able to work with students like Becky, but maybe don't want to come to school to CVEC full time. So these are called outreach services. And these are services that can be offered. We really looked at our mission statement: educate, empower, employ, and really took different skill sets that a student might need, but might not necessarily need to spend half a day doing for their schedule. So we looked at things like self-determination, independent living skills. We also focused on items like soft skill instruction. So a district can access these services and a student can access them as well, but we would be going to the district and working with that student possibly during a study hall or possibly even after school. And it would be for a set amount of time. So a student could still have access to some of these needs if they had a need in this area, but they would not necessarily have to come to CVEC for half of their day. The next component, which we're all very excited about at CVEC, is really working with one of our partners, OOD. We're in the process of getting certified, as Denise shared, in Cuyahoga, Lake, Summit, Portage, and Geauga counties to offer, these are called pre-employment transition services. These are services working with OOD, where we are now hopefully going to become a provider, working as a service provider with OOD and being able to service individuals and students 14 plus who may or may not be part of our consortium. And so these different services, we would be going to students, working with them possibly at their school, possibly at a local library, and working on areas such as self-advocating, working on areas work-based learning, work readiness, and also job exploration.
So in a year's time, in a pandemic, given all the changes, those are some of the job seekers that have obtained employment. And in the midst of all this, we got to where we were because of the passion and drive of a staff staff, both certified, classified, secretarial, and the support of our districts and families. And we could not be where we are today without that. And also a lot of planning and some tough conversations with the instructional leadership team, who I am very grateful for and helping us guide and move CVAC forward. That is it for this evening. Thank you, Board of Education. Thank you, everyone who is logged on and still logged on, and those of you watching from home. We are very proud of our work, and thank you very much.
Denise, that was a great presentation. Sarah, great job. And just seeing everything that you've done during this is just totally amazing. And then to be able to find things that come out of this pandemic to be able to use moving forward, it's going to make this program even better. And Marcy, I appreciate you coming on and giving us your thoughts and feelings about CVAC from the beginning, what you thought and where you're at now with it. And then Becky, we appreciate Kirtland being part of this program, because if it isn't for other districts who bring your students here, who make up our program, we wouldn't have CVAC, and we wouldn't have these wonderful people doing what they're doing to help these students. It's a very necessary thing. So we really appreciate Kirtland being part of CVAC, and thank you for sharing that with us tonight.
Yeah, Marcy and Becky, thanks for taking the time to be on with us tonight. It was very powerful, the things you said. You know, Becky, CVAC has touched many lives for many years. I think you said that very well. And Denise and Sarah and your team, it should also be said that while you're giving credit to the entire staff, which they deserve, we also wouldn't be here without your leadership. So thank you for the infusion of leadership that you provided CVAC. Great job. Great job. Very impressive.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
You guys have created a great treasure that you're sharing with the not only Mayfield, but all of the surrounding communities in Ohio and everywhere. I mean, it's just really incredible work.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you. Well, thank you, everybody. I think we appreciate the presentations. Like Dr. Kelly said, it's very powerful and enlightening. So we appreciate everything that you guys do and what you brought to us tonight. With that, if there's no other comments or questions for any of the presenters, I'd like to move on to our president's announcements. I think I'll just forego that for tonight. I think I said, I think probably all I could say about what we saw tonight, and probably some more I probably should say, because you guys are awesome people. So I'll just move on to the superintendent's announcements.
I have nothing this evening, Mr. Fernaro. I think we've seen some great presentations and have said a lot.
The presentations speak for all of us, for everything that we're doing. So great job. All right, that brings us to our next section, our board member committee reports. I have just an update on the Mayfield School Foundation fundraiser on April 11th at Topgolf. Everything's going well with that so far. I think we have 22 out of 27 bays already reserved. Mr. Snyder, I don't know if that number might have jumped from the last time I saw it, which was, I think, last week. But we're 5 away from selling out the bays that they had set aside for this event. We have a couple big sponsors for it. It's going to be a great event. We look forward to getting out and having a little bit of fun on April 11th at Topgolf. And then I think, Mr. Hess, you might have something to say for a report.
I've got a lot to say. No, I'm kidding.
It's yours. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Being the school board representative to the Tax Incentive Review Committee, Mr. Snyder has informed myself and the board request for a tax abatement from the Holiday Inn in Mayfield Village, which is at Beta Drive and Wilson Mills. The building, the property has been recently purchased by a new owner, and the owner has asked for a tax abatement. And for those of you that may or may not know, state law allows for up to a 50% abatement request without school district input. Anything over that, then the school district has a voice in that decision. And the property owner is requesting the abatement for upgrades to the building, to the rooms, maintenance, I don't know exactly the repairs, but he's upgrading the building. And the fact that this is even being done during the pandemic is commendable on the property owner's decision to move forward. And Mr. Snyder has been working with Mayfield Village, and part of that is that, like I said, they could ask for up to a 50% abatement without our input. The property owner had asked initially for a 75% tax abatement over a 15-year period. Through discussions, that has been, it's still 75%, but for a 10-year period. And from what we understand, Mayfield Village and Mr. Snyder are comfortable with that. He is going to give some of the dollar particulars on that, and it is on our agenda this evening to be voted on by the board, and Mr. Snyder is requesting that we consider that vote for tonight. So I didn't know if you were going to speak now, Mr. Snyder, or at your portion.
No, sure, Mr. Hess. Very quickly, first of all, would like to thank Mayfield Village. They've worked hand in hand with this district over many, many years, going back to the original Progressive Campus One project. And it's because of that partnership that I believe this district has been able to not only assist our municipalities, as not just Mayfield Village, but also Mayfield Heights, in growing their tax base, but not at the expense of the district. So it's a really wonderful partnership. But specifically with this abatement request, it is a new owner. They're looking for a $950,000 real property investment into the Holiday Inn. The Holiday Inn is a very active property in the district, and the pandemic has really wreaked havoc in that market sector. You think travel, leisure, hospitality. So in discussions with Mr. Markwart, who's the economic director for Mayfield Village, we both agreed that a 75% abatement was appropriate. However, the 10-year time frame was sufficient to recoup the payback and hopefully assist that property in its quest to be a viable economic tax-paying entity for the district, and also be a viable business for the community. The taxes in question then, the district will receive annually about $4,300 in additional taxes. We're abating just under $13,000 again for a 10-year time frame. And I think this is a wonderful partnership, as Mr. Hess identified, that the business, the real property improvements will keep that property current and economically viable moving forward. So you'll see that later on the agenda. So unless you have questions for me or Mr. Hess, that's our Tax Incentive Review Committee update. Hopefully just as exciting as preschool and CVAC, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah, maybe that close. Yeah, we'll be voting on that in section 10, other treasurer's business. I think item C that is. So are there any questions for Mr. Hess or Mr. Snyder? None? Or any other board reports?
None.
Okay. Well, thank you for the presentation, Mr. Hess and Mr. Snyder. We appreciate what you're doing with that tax incentive board. So we will now move on to our superintendent's consent agenda, items A through J. I'll make the motion to approve. Can I have a second?
We'll move.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Fenaro,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
Mr. Teresi.
Yes.
Under item 9, treasurer's report, we have financial statements for February 28th, 2021. I'll make the motion. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Fenaro,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
and Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item, we have donations. I'll make the motion. I need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Fenaro,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
Final item under this category, we have the financial transactions. I'll make that motion. Could we have a second?
So
Second.
moved.
Mr. Hess. Roll call, please.
Mr. Fenaro,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
Under other treasurer's business, we have item A, the minutes of our regular board meeting from February 24th, 2021. I'll make that motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
We'll get it to Mr. Tressi this time. He got edged out the last time.
It's okay.
I like to share. It's good.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Fenaro,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
Our next item is our tax rate resolution for tax year 2021. I'll make the motion. Could I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Fenaro,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
And our final item is our approval of the real estate tax incentive. I'll make the motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Fenaro,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hess. I passed Mr. Hess.
Jumped
George,
right
may
over him.
I ask you to please hold that, retract that yes for just one moment while I ask Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Hughes
Yes.
and Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
Skip the guy that presented that and you just jumped right over him.
I did. I did.
Under other board business, we have the board policy, final reading and adoptions for several policies. I'll make the motion. Can I have a second, please?
So Second. moved.
Mr. Hughes. I don't know. Roll call, please.
Mr. Fenaro,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
and Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
Under item B, we have an addendum number 2. It's a board policy. We're asking for an emergency adoption for this. I'll make the motion. Could I have a second, please?
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Fenaro,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
and Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
Our next item does not need a motion or a vote. It's our addendum number 2. It's board policies first reading. We will look at that at next month's meeting. And finally, in other business, we have in memoriam, Mrs. Jan Plas, a retired Mayfield City Schools teacher for more than 16 years, passed away on February 28th, 2020. Ms. Plas retired from Center Elementary School July 1st, 1994. Her husband, Dick Plas, also passed away very recently. Condolences are extended to the entire Plas family. With that, we are ready for adjournment unless anybody has anything else, and we will see everybody April 28th at our next board meeting. Nothing else. I'll make the motion for adjournment. Have a second.
Happy Easter to everyone.
Happy Easter. Yep.
Thank you.
I have a second for adjournment.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Fenaro,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
and Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
Great job. Awesome meeting tonight.
Good stuff. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy Easter. Happy Passover. All good.
Everything. Enjoy it.
Ditto.
Happy summer, happy spring.
Yeah.
Happy spring.
Thing.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Sure.